Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, cats, dogs, and pets of all kinds. My name is Jared, and I will be one of your hosts for the episode. I am honored and grateful that you have joined us here at our table today. Today, we're going to be at the kids' table, / family table, where we will be looking at Cyber Pet Quest, designed by Brendan Kendrick and Bernie Lynn. Artwork created by Zachary Leo Alex Pei and Maria Zvankova, and published by Dead Alive Games. Cyber Pet Quest is a 1-to-4 player cooperative story-driven campaign game where players take control of 4 pets: Jane, the fully bionic cat, and her 3 cybernetically enhanced friends: Clay the dog, Freya the raccoon, and Roman the goose. They are on a mission to find Jane's missing owner, Howard, and must work their way through the city to find him. As players go through the chapters, they face a variety of dangers and must work together to tactically overcome their challenges and choose their own path as they seek their goal. Let's review Cyber Pet Quest. All right, so this week's episode is going to be a little bit different because we're going to take a few minutes and be with the kids at the kids' table, and then we're going to come back and I am going to give some of my thoughts as well. But before we do that, we're going to give a quick overview of how this game is played. Okay, so this is a campaign-driven dungeon crawl, more or less. There's no actual dungeon, but it does operate like one, where you are working your way across the board in its various maps, trying to defeat the various obstacles in your way, and you have a variety of different actions to be able to do that. I'm going to try and be very vague in this because I don't want to give away any spoilers, so that you can go and explore that on your own. But I will kind of quickly go over the actions. So to start your turn, you are going to roll 3 dice. These dice are going to indicate if you gain any amount of energy or luck. Luck and energy both power different things that you can do on your turn, and energy is the primary form of currency to be able to do your actions. The different actions that you have are move, inspect, interact, heal. And then there's a different kind of action that is less focused on exploration and is focused much more on dealing damage. And this is called your impact action. Each pet has the ability to do a different type of impact action, and it can be used once per round. Each character is going to have different items, powers, and things of that nature that can help them in their quest to be able to complete each mission. And you are essentially working across, like I said, a map of different spots. So usually the spots are numbered either 1 through 9 or 1 through 6 or 1 through 12, whatever it may be, however big the map is for that particular mission. And moving is simply going from space 1 to space 2, and then so on and so forth. There are various things that you'll be able to inspect or interact with, other items to collect, and power-ups that you'll gain throughout the campaign, as well as leveling up. Of course, with any good dungeon crawl, there are bad guys to defeat and various minions and bosses that you have to take on. But then there's also other objective cards that you interact with in each mission that you have to be able to take care of to be able to complete the mission itself. Book that you're going through, so everything's very compact in this game. You even take the top of the box lid off to be able to use to manage some of the minions. And the book itself gives you everything that you need for the story, for each chapter setup, and things of that nature. Various chapters will have multiple ways that the pets can overcome the challenge, and determining which way they go determines which is the next experience and story. So you'll not experience every story in one playthrough, more or less, but you can go back and try different avenues of winning the game after completing all the missions. That's a pretty quick overview of how to play. I think that gives us enough just to kind of give you an idea. Again, I didn't want to give away too much because of all the different spoilery things that you could experience during this game. So with that, let's head on over to the kids, let them give you their thoughts, and then we'll come back and I will give you my thoughts. All right, well, hello, Faith, Joy, and Hope.
Well, hello. Hey.
So good to have all of you back here at the table. How are we doing?
Good.
Good.
All right.
Just all right? You just won the game.
Seriously? Well, I've got some teeth problems, but other than that, I think I'm good.
Interesting. I didn't know you had teeth problems. What kind of teeth problems do you have at 7 years old?
I have teeth broken.
Oh, sounds like a very complicated
Well,
process.
you just won the game, so you should be happy. Well, I am. I'm happy
Very good.
about
Well, yeah,
the
of
game.
course she is.
It's
All
the
right.
best game ever.
'Cause
I
she
mean, like,
won
of
the
course you're happy
game.
that you won it. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a few questions for you girls because I have to be honest, this was not a kid's game. But we did play it with you girls, and so I want to ask you a few questions, okay?
It was not a kid's game. Nope.
First, Hope, which character did you play?
Yeah.
Freya the...
King.
Good job. Joy, who did you play?
Jane the cat.
Okay, and Faith?
Clay the Australian cattle dog.
Nice. We're going to try and keep it as spoiler-free as possible so other people can experience the story as well, okay? So we're just going to talk about some things about the game, some of your thoughts, and then we'll go from there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Faith, I'm curious. What was one thing that you liked about this game?
I liked it because it was an adventure game. Because I love adventure games. Like Quest for the Moonstones, I think is one that we've reviewed.
Nice. Very cool. Joy, what's something that you really liked about the game?
That we could play pets.
Okay, you liked being able to play pets.
Yeah.
And I think you mentioned something else before the recording as well that you said that you really liked as well. Do you remember?
Yeah, you get to choose which adventure you get to go on. But I also think I really like it because it's an adventure game.
Okay, so like Faith, you also like that it's an adventure game.
Yeah, because I also like Quest for the Moonstones.
And I remember you saying you liked being Jane as well.
Yeah.
Do you
Was it
have
fun
any
being a
reasons
cat?
for that?
Yes, very fun.
Do you have any reasons for it?
No. You just like being a cat? Yeah, because cats are flexible.
I love dogs, so
And
Worked
cats are cute.
True, very true.
What
Oh.
about raccoons?
Yeah, what about raccoons? Hope, are raccoons cute?
Yes.
Hope, did you have a favorite part of the game?
Yes.
What was it?
I like collecting the items.
Oh, yeah, as a raccoon, you got to collect all kinds of items, didn't you?
and
Yeah.
and when you collected an item, you got a bonus for it, didn't you?
Well, her bonus was that she got extra items because she's a raccoon searching machine.
And she loves items. Like loving like jewels, like somebody would love. But instead it's items.
All right, so here's my next question. We'll start with Hope. Hope, was it hard to understand the rules of this game?
No.
You did not know all the rules to this game, Hope. You needed a little bit of help, didn't you?
No.
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did. You're lying.
You definitely did.
Did
No,
you?
I didn't.
Hope, let me ask you this before I go to your sisters. Did you enjoy the game because you got to experience the story with your sisters and you liked playing an animal?
Yes.
Okay, that's fair. Joy, did you find the rules to this game difficult?
At first, very difficult, but once I got into the game, it became more easier.
The game a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Did you find that the game was difficult to play? Like it was hard to win?
It's very hard to win.
Okay. Anything else you want to say about that? Okay. Faith, what about you? Did you feel like the rules were hard to learn at first? Were they maybe a little bit confusing?
At first, I wouldn't say I don't know at first. I don't know at first because I had to leave halfway through the rules.
Oh, yeah, because you were
On the
sick.
first time,
and so
I
you
had
didn't get
to-
to actually
and I
play with
didn't
us the
get a
first couple
headache.
chapters.
Yeah. So, and I got a headache out here. But yeah, I didn't really get to experience the rules, but getting to play on Mom's team and just getting the feeling of the first round playing on Mom's team while I was sick, kind of helped me get the feel of it, and I understood it pretty quickly. So I was able to catch up where we left off when I was sick.
Okay, so because we knew you were going to have to come in late since you started out sick. Coming in, I think you started in like chapter 2 or something like that.
It was about chapter 2 or chapter 3.
Did you feel like you were able to kind of pick things up pretty quickly?
Yeah. It was pretty easy to pick up. I think getting the feeling of the first round when I was sick kind of helped.
Okay. All right. So, do you feel like the game mechanics were more what drew you in, or the story and getting to be a pet?
No. I kind of say it's half both.
A little bit of both?
Yeah.
Okay. So this style of game is called a dungeon crawl. Did you like going through that kind of a story where you're battling bad guys and you're trying to figure out the puzzles to be able to get through the mission?
Yeah.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
What was your favorite part about that? Did you like the puzzles or the combat better?
I like the puzzles.
The puzzles. Okay. And Faith, what about you, baby?
I enjoyed the fighting, but I also liked figuring out the puzzles.
Mm-hmm. And did you like the game, or did you like the story more? Or were they about equal?
They were about equal.
Okay.
But the puzzles were the ones I most enjoyed. Yep. I especially liked the objective cards when you had to had to figure out the way to get past that objective card.
Nice. And Hope, I have a question for you. Did you like the artwork in this game and that you were half pet, half robot?
Yes.
Was it kind of cool to think about having all kinds of cybernetic upgrades?
Yes.
Oh, that was the other thing that struck me as I was learning the game. When I was on Mom's team, when I was getting better, while I was on Mom's team, that was one of the things that struck me as a little bit odd, but pretty fun, because you play pets, and they've all gotten some sort of injury or had a virus or something that has caused them to have robotic parts, which, as I said, struck me as a tiny bit odd, but it was still a lot of fun to play, and I thought adding in those robotic parts kind of added a fun twist to the game.
Yeah, it definitely gave them a unique aspect, but also a explanation for their strengths and powers that they might have had, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Joy, did you like the artwork in this game?
Yeah, I really liked how they drew it and made the different boards.
Like the different characters you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
The characters in the board. I liked how they shaped the characters to look like different pets.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like the artwork. Yeah, they did a good job.
What about the Sims? Did they feel all unique and different and things like that?
Yeah.
You thought those were pretty cool?
Mm-hmm. Their abilities especially.
Oh, yeah. Definitely unique every time. And there were lots of different options, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. What about, so during the game, you kind of level up like a typical dungeon crawler does. At some point, did it feel like it was too much to manage and you might be forgetting some of the abilities that you had? Or did you feel like you could keep on top of it okay?
No, the only time I really felt that way was this one round where I had the ability to move someone somewhere. And that would have been really useful if I'd known which sim was going to attack next. But I didn't know that. And that was the only thing that I didn't really like about it, was because the not knowing part.
That is kind of that's part of the game.
The not knowing about what's going to come next part and stuff like that. But other than that, it was a pretty nice game, and I loved it, but that was the one thing that I didn't like about it.
What about you, Joy? When you got a bunch of upgrades and cards, did you feel like it was too much to keep up with, or were you able to keep up with it okay?
I was able to keep up with it okay. There was only one part that sometimes I forgot.
Say it again. Sometimes I
forgot. It was the part with your energy. Sometimes I forgot how much energy I got automatically.
Okay.
And sometimes I forgot to put my energy down when I used it.
That's important. Hopi, do you want to talk about whether you were able to manage everything okay or not?
Yes.
What do you want to say?
It was a lot of cards.
It was a lot of cards?
Yeah.
Did you feel like Freya got to do lots of different things?
Yeah.
Cool.
I remember one time when you were like, I got 10 cards. And I was like, how in the world do you have 10 cards?
She was just collecting all kinds of
Yeah,
different cards.
because your max is 3.
Well, she had it is max of 3 item cards, but then she had some other cards, too, that were kind of helping her out.
Well,
Yeah,
like,
you got 7 more cards?
How in the world do you have 9 or 10 cards?
Well, she was just
And then Joy was like, I have 7. And I was like, I have 1 item card and a few charm cards.
You did have a few cards, yeah. So, okay, well, let me ask you this, and then we'll kind of wrap this up. Were you satisfied, without giving anything away, were you satisfied with how the story ended?
Yes. It was good.
You were happy you went through it?
Yeah.
Cool. What about you, Faith?
It was a great ending, beautifully put together.
Okay. And then Hope? Did you like the story?
Yeah.
Did you have fun?
Yes.
Nice. All right. Well, with that, we're going to head back over to talk it over. I'll wrap us up, and then we'll call it a day from there, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, girls, so much for joining me at the table today.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that we got to go through this game together. It was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you want to say anything else as we... Actually, you know what, you guys can rate this before we call it an episode.
Mm-hmm.
So what, Hope, do you give this 2 thumbs up, 1 thumb up, sideways thumb, a thumb down, or 2 thumbs down for you, Hope?
Or 2 sideways thumbs. 2 thumbs up.
Nice. What about you, Faith?
1,000 thumbs up.
Whoa. What about you, Joy?
Infinity thumbs up.
Good job,
Actually,
Hope.
I think it would be affinity thumbs up and affinity hands in the air, plus affinity A pluses.
Wow, that's a lot. Joy, what do you think?
1,000 thumbs up.
Okay, so all 3 of the girls really enjoyed this story and the game.
Yep, I do.
All right. Awesome job, girls. Well, everyone go ahead and say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I hope you have fun with this game and maybe discover a few mysteries along the way.
Bye.
All right. Thanks, girls. All right. So obviously the girls really enjoyed this one. I figured that they would pick up the pet concept and really run with that. And it was pretty obvious all the way through the campaign that they loved that aspect of the game. Even after the campaign was over, they ran and got some of their stuffed animals and ran around the house pretending to be the various pets that they were playing as, and just really had a great time with it. And so I want to kind of give some of my thoughts because, I don't know, I was playing this game and I feel like this game sits in a very interesting space. As I've thought about it, I've given it several days, kind of just to give you a peek behind the curtain. Like, this is the night before the episode drops, and like, as I really wanted to sit on it and think about it before I kind of give my thoughts. And so just kind of thinking through it, I'm going to give it my assessment of how the kids handled it, because I think that's important as I kind of get into my thoughts a little bit. So I think Faith did a pretty good job of keeping up with her character. and all the different things that she could do. And I thought that Joy understood what all of her cards did. She didn't always know how to combo the cards together or to kind of put together okay, I'm going to use my luck resources here, and I'm going to use my energy resources here, and it's okay to go down a little bit of damage here because I can do these different things. That was harder for her to come full circle with. And then, of course, Hope can't read, so she and I would just kind of talk through on her turn what she wanted to do. And they all loved it. I mean, it was very interesting because I think it was the first time in a game where when it wasn't that person's turn, they would want to get down and go do other things and then come back. And we haven't really experienced that before in games that we play. Usually it's either fast enough, we keep them engaged enough that they just stay at the table and stay locked in. And it's not like they weren't paying attention. Like, they were very interested in the story, but obviously the story's kind of on pause a little bit while you're going through it. And I don't know. It was just a very interesting experience. But I will say, like, even when you get to, like, the different objectives and there's, like, these interludes that you read, they kept very engaged with all of that. They knew what they were supposed to do. But I think it's because there was a little bit of thinking and kind of working through your different options that was going on each individual turn, that it just worked at kind of a slower pace. So I know this isn't a kid's game. I should have said that earlier, but I don't know. I struggle with it because when I think about this game, I think that the story very much speaks to kids that are my kids' age, around 9, 7, and 5. I think the story speaks much more to them and engages them way better than it would an adult or even a teenager. But the game itself is much more of a entry-level dungeon crawler for a teenager or an adult who doesn't know games as well, and that's more of the weight that it sits in. So I don't know. It really baffled me as far as who's this game's audience. I've wrestled with that a lot. I think personally, so I did enjoy going through the story with the kids. And Anna played a little bit too. She and I talked about it, and she and I both kind of felt the same way, that it's kind of an interesting audience who this game is trying to get pulled in. And so I think what I've kind of come to is if you are looking for something that's a friendly theme for a dungeon crawl and you want to try out a dungeon crawl and just kind of see what it's like, then I think this is definitely for you. If this is not your first dungeon crawl and you are an adult and you're looking for something to play and a new story to go through, I don't know that this is it. I mean, it's fine from a story perspective, and it's fine from a going through the different adventures, but I struggle with it because I think that, I guess let me put it like this. There were a lot of aspects of the game that I really enjoyed. I loved being able to level up and to have different choices when I leveled up for how to grow my character. I loved finding all the different mathematical equations of figuring out how to combo my different resources and the resources of the other players to be able to complete the level as efficiently as possible. And I would say, like, for, compared to some of the dungeon crawls, I think it clips at a pretty decent pace. It is fiddly, like a lot of dungeon crawls, and that's just to be expected, I think. I don't know how you get around that with all the different things that are going on, so that's not even really a critique. It's just something to be aware of. And I think, too, I don't want to come across like I'm hating on the story. Like, I think the story is enjoyable, but it just has a very childlike feel to it. So, I don't know. Like, the more I think about it, the more I consider, is this something that if there were no kids, would I have enjoyed this as much? And I don't know the answer to that question, but it's not a resounding yes. So I do want to keep that in mind. Again, I mentioned it earlier. I do think that a family weight audience is perfect for this. A family that's getting into gaming, that wants to get to try out dungeon crawls, but in a fun, animal-centered way. I think this is a good start. And there are some fun bits in it. Again, I don't want to spoil too much because there's a lot of fun things to experience in this game, but it kind of is all part of the story, so it's hard to talk about specifics. But finding the different items is fun, figuring out how they work with your character. And then I did like the luck track. I think that was really well done. One thing I will mention, I know that they were trying to make a pretty budget version of this game as the retail versus the deluxe. But given how far games have come in component quality and things that are to be expected in board games nowadays, I was a little disappointed that you had to have the deluxe edition to get the recessed player boards to keep your 3 trackers in place. So in the regular retail edition, you just have a piece of cardstock. Well, I think it is cardboard, but regardless, it's not recessed. And so anytime anybody bumps the table, or if someone passes a die and it accidentally hits one of the cubes, like it gets knocked off. And I don't know, I feel like a lot of the gaming world has moved beyond that, especially for trackers that move a lot and are pretty important as far as keeping up with resources. I feel like that's something that could have been included in the base game and would have been worth the minor price increase. From just an overall experience, I think that would have been worth it. So that was I just wanted to throw that in there. And I know this is kind of all over the place, but that's kind of where my thoughts are on this game. But I do think overall there's a fun story here. I think that there's a game of a lot of really like neat combinations working with, and it is all about working with your friends, because even in a solo game, you're going to play with all 4 characters. If you're playing a 2-player game, each player is going to control 2 characters. Like, you have to have all 4. And that's very apparent in the game why you need to do that. So it has a lot of good to it. I just don't know how to feel about it. And I know that's not like super helpful in a review, but that's kind of where I land on it. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. And I know this is a bit of a different episode structure, but it's just what it is. I encourage you to look into this one for yourself. I don't think I have a strong swing one way or the other on it, but I do think that there are several tables that this game is for, but then there's other tables that might not necessarily be as good of a fit. And that's my primary goal, is that you kind of get an idea of if this game is for you or for not. I will say the price point on this, I can get it at Game Nerds right now for $22. So if you're considering it but not quite sure, I think 22 is a good enough price point that it's probably worth taking a chance on. Now, obviously, that's easy for me to say here, for someone who's already got the game. But my point is, at $22, you're getting a lot in the box. So I don't know. Again, weird review, but as you heard, the kids loved it, and especially at family tables that are looking to make that step into the dungeon delve, definitely recommend giving this one a look. So with that, thank you for listening. If you have feedback or want to give us your thoughts on the game, we would love to hear from you. Links to our socials are in the description. If you don't like socials, I get it. Check out our website at the Game Table Podcast. Shoot us an email at thegametable@gmail.com, or find us on Board Game Geek. All these links are in the description. 5-star reviews, subscribing your podcast player of choice, following us on socials, and joining the conversation on Discord. These heroic actions are immensely helpful in growing this podcast. Special thanks to Ashley McCaffrey for our cover art, to Anna Snyder, who made the intro and outro music, and to Alexi Chistelin for the How to Play background music. Join us next week as we head over to the feature table. In the meantime, may your dice rolls and your card draws be blessed, and your experiences at the table be ones to remember forever.